flowers of the night, gleaming from the moisture.
Well, welcome to the Nautilus Studio M31 Files. Today our guest is Ely Cartwright. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Yves. Glad to be here. Glad to be here with you.
Well, we're kind of thrilled to have you, actually, man. This is. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm honored.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so are we.
Yeah.
So, Ely, where are you from?
I grew up in southern Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of born and raised southern Indiana, and
big city, small.
Oh no, small town, like small farm town. Where I usually start with people in describing how small my town was is, so I went to public school. I grew up going to like public high school, and my graduating class had 62 people in it. Okay. So like that's like a frame of reference for a lot of folks.
Right.
You know, it was just a small farm town in southern Indiana, and
that sounds like the verses to a song.
Yeah, right.
Just a small town.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so small town, southern Indiana, then in college and grad school and a couple of years and all that, moved to central Kentucky. So I lived in the Lexington area for several years before moving out here to southwest Colorado, about a little over 10 years ago. So,
okay,
yeah.
And what got you into music? How did that start?
Yeah, so my dad was a musician kind of growing up. He was a music teacher when I was really young, and then went into administration. So I kind of was around music growing up.
Even at home.
At home. But I'd say what really, the bug really bit me when I was in junior high, and I had a couple buddies who started to play guitar. And I wanted to be cool. And, I wanted to hang out. And so I wanted a guitar and got my first guitar for my 13th birthday. And then just fell in love with it. Like it started as like, my buddies are doing it, this would be cool. But then it really just, I fell in love and got fascinated. And that was kind of all she wrote from there. Okay. And so I played at church a lot when I was young. Like church was a place where I got the chance to play, and then playing with buddies growing up too. And then eventually that's what I studied in college. So my undergraduate degree is in music. So I got a music degree. And I've been kind of, for a lot of my working life, I worked in churches doing church music for a long time, but also was always kind of like writing and doing my own thing as a writer and artist as well, which is distinct from certainly.
Did you start that fairly early on to write, or was that something?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say I started to really do some improvisation and kind of instrumental tinkering and writing even back, when I was a teenager, and started to experiment some with songwriting even in later high school when I was, say 17, 18 years old. Okay. And it wasn't until later college that I started to take it seriously and really get after trying to songwrite. So that's, I think it's always been something I've done since pretty early in my explorations of music. But then really, because guitar was my first love. Guitar was the first love. Did you start on
electric?
I did, yeah. Okay. Electric was the first one. Okay. And I mean, it's always been kind of a blend of electric and acoustic. Acoustic came shortly thereafter. And then I don't do much with classical guitar these days, but I've studied that. That was I call it dabbled. That's just that was my primary instrument in college. When when you're studying music in like a traditional music degree, you have an instrument of focus, and so mine was classical guitar because that was what the option was at the time.
Had to learn Segovia and all that.
Some of that, yeah. Wow. I recently was talking to somebody who mentioned like, well, there's no money to be made in music anymore. Nobody makes money in music. And I'm not sure that I agree, but I think what I really thought after that conversation was, well, I think there's this idea that I have had and that a lot of people have about this like pure life of an artist. Like there's no way to make a living as just a pure artist. And I'm like, well, even like that artist that you admire the most, like the most indie, like true making a living, and they haven't sold out and they're doing well. It's like, well, they don't have technically a day job in the same way that I do, but their day job is their social media, their marketing, their interviews, they're doing their own booking, they're figuring all of that stuff out. And so like I don't know that there's really ever been this sort of like pure artist life.
There may have been a time where some people ended up in that.
There's always been people who have been bankrolled by their family or like some other entity, and that's cool. Like I don't begrudge anybody that. Yeah. But in terms of like just a working class kind of musician just making it, it's like, well, we've all got day jobs. It's just some of us are doing a day job that's like
even the big names are saying that they're basically there, exactly. It's not what it used to be.
And so I don't, it's one of those where it's like, well, is there, isn't there, I don't know. And like I don't pay all of my bills with music, but like I bring in like legitimate income by going out and playing a bunch of shows.
Yeah. And you're playing quite a bit now, huh?
It's slowed down a lot over the winter, but this past year has been one of my biggest years in terms of gigs, which was quite frankly just like the best, most consistent part of it was I had, call it a residency at a place in Durango to where like they had me there every week.
Where was that at?
At Lola's place, which is...
I've heard of that, and I haven't been there. Do you like that?
I do. I think it's a great little spot. They, in their like summer, fall season, like it was kind of a 6-month period, they have live music at least a few times a week, and just really sweet people that work there. So it's a place
in Durango. Is it a bar? Is it
Yeah, it's like a bar, coffee shop. They have kind of it used to be kind of a food truck depot, but now there's like one restaurant there that does like Mexican food and tacos and that kind of stuff. It's really great. And they're sort of attached to like a small boutique hotel downtown too. But it's a cool little spot, and they've got this beautiful outdoor patio space that's just this little like oasis in the heart of downtown. And yeah, it's been a great fit for me.
You were there weekly?
Yeah, pretty much.
And what day of the week did they give you?
I had Sunday mornings.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, so like a little brunch set.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, awesome. It was a really pleasant
it
time.
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
right season too.
Yeah.
So Lola's.
Yeah. Lola's place.
Lola's place. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Well,
yeah.
Lola's place.
Go check it out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back a little bit, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Your change. You said you ended up in Kentucky for a little while, and then eventually you got here. I think that was.
Yep.
Can you tell me a little bit what the journey? Why or?
Yeah. So it kind of a lot of it comes back to church music for me. So which is not something that I've been doing the last couple of years, but it was a place for me that was always kind of like an important place ever since I came to playing music regularly as a teenager. And then so I'd been involved in both work and volunteer in churches ever since that time. And so I studied music in undergrad and then went and started working for a church part-time. And then in the midst of that, it was kind of like, well, I think I want to study more about this like spirituality, theology, that kind of stuff. And so I wound up going to seminary and got a Master of Divinity at that time. Yeah. And so kind of like it was just a really interesting thing, sort of pursuing that. And then I decided after that I wanted to really go into doing that church music thing full time. Yeah. And so at toward the end of grad school, I was like, well, I want to do this full time somewhere. I'm going to look around, see what's out there. I'm going to start applying to jobs. And I was looking all over the place, kind of all over the country to find a good fit, and landed at this small church in Durango. And that was the right fit. And
what church is that?
Summit Church in Durango. So
right in downtown Durango.
It's sort of out near Riverview Elementary, off of Florida.
Yeah.
So it was originally First United Methodist Church in Durango. So like that, however long ago, 100 and not quite 50 years ago, I guess, they were downtown Durango, like on 3rd Ave, and then in the 1970s, I think they built another facility up where they are now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously undergone, I don't know how many remodels in the last 50 years, but...
So when you were going to seminary, were you writing music too?
Mm-hmm.
And are most of your songs spirit or some?
No, some. I would say some are... well, 10,000 foot view, spirituality is part of the human experience. So even a heartbreak song is going to be like imbued with, like, I'm not partitioning most of the time and saying like, well, I'm going to pretend I'm not a spiritual person when I write a song about love or whatever. Mm-hmm. But there is this notion of like writing songs with specifically like religious intent. And I've written a few of those, but that's not really what I like to write. I wrote some specifically for that. I've written several over the years, and I'd actually put out an album that was very like faith-based a few years back, and it's good work. I don't think it represents Ely Cartwright as an artist exactly. Yeah. I mean, I stand by the writing.
Well, it's a part of you. I think.
Yeah, it's part of it. But it's very much geared toward this like narrow slice, right? Whereas like for me, just like what I write to express myself and to process my feelings in life and whatever.
It's a wider,
very much so, and is a lot of the classic things that we all write about, love and loss and all of that,
and problems, tribulations, and sure.
Yeah.
One more thing. I don't know why I want to know all these details, but why Colorado could have been any states? Like
it could have been. Yeah. So.
Did you know somebody?
No, I didn't. Just literally, it was a job application to like. I think this could be a fit. We'll see how it goes. And cool. I had spent my college summers in Yellowstone National Park. Just like cleaning hotel rooms, basically. So I knew I loved the Mountain West, and Yellowstone and Southwest Colorado are not the same, they're not the same place, but I knew I loved the Western United States, particularly this like mountainous region, broadly speaking. So, so I'd spent some time, in Wyoming, I guess, but, I don't know that I'd ever even been to Colorado before I came out to interview for the job here. And it was a good fit, and, glad that I landed.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's
funny how life works out.
It is. Yeah. Cool. All right.
I see the rain clouds coming. I feel the wind blowing this way. The shadows been hanging over. Can't seem to catch a break. And I'm praying tonight to keep the flame alive. Open your arms and bring me to shelter from the raging winds and all this nasty weather. I'm a lost man looking for his way home, and I just wanna feel it. I just wanna feel your love. I hear your name in whispers, taste the salt on your skin. Glimmers are breaking
time that we start again. I'm staying tonight. Let's keep this burning right. Just open your arms and bring me to shelter from the raging storms and all this nasty weather. I'm a lost man looking for his way home, and I just wanna feel it. I just wanna feel your love. Oh, feel your love. The rain won't last forever, but forever I belong to you. Open your arms and bring me in shelter from the raging storms and all this nasty weather. I'm a lost man looking for his way home, and I just wanna feel it. I just wanna feel your love. Oh, feel your love.
So Eli, what do you have coming up?
Yeah, there's a couple things coming up. You know, it depends upon obviously when
This
this
comes out.
comes out
Yeah, I'm
and
not
finds
sure
its
when,
way to
but
the
yeah.
world. All good.
Yeah.
But probably first thing coming up is I'm teaching a songwriting class at the Sunflower Theater here in Cortez, and did one in the fall and it went really well. And so we're doing another one. It'll start in January, and it'll be on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. And it starts on, I think it's January the 7th.
Okay.
But basically Wednesday evenings for all of January into the first week of February. So it'll be like a 5-week class.
Okay.
And you can register through sunflowertheater.org, their website. So that'll be coming up. That'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a songwriting class, and hopefully at the end of it we'll all have a few new songs.
Right.
And then we're going to do a showcase. So like a chance for all the students to play some of their new songs and maybe get some area songwriters
And that will be, I'm
to come
assuming, the
out.
last or a different date.
It'll be on Friday, February 13th.
On Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
And at
So-
the Sunflower.
At the Sunflower.
Sunflower
Yep.
also. Okay.
Yep.
Cool,
So
cool,
that'll
cool.
be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm also doing a show with the Mojo Birds. So they're an area band, and they're doing an album release show at the Animus City Theater in Durango.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm one of the openers, and then also Dana Ariel and the Coming Up Roses are playing too.
Okay.
And then the Mojo Birds are the headliners. So that's going to be a really fun show.
Wow, that's
Sounds
a great
like it,
venue.
Yeah, it is. And such really great artists and cool people, good friends. So it's going to be a really fun night.
Awesome,
And that's
awesome.
January 9th.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So all that's coming
pretty
out.
soon.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. We'll do our best to get it out.
Cool.
And
That'd be great.
hopefully
But
before
do your
that, but
thing,
yeah.
and we'll
Yeah.
have fun no matter
Yeah,
how many
no matter
folks
what.
come out. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Mr. Bill, do you have any questions?
Songwriting. What do you think about those AI cats that are stealing the real people's thunder?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That
Well,
the AI
I
kinda
think the
uses
real
that.
songwriting is analog and AI is digital and AI, right?
Yeah,
What
sure.
are your thoughts there?
Well,
A new version.
I like it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm kind of a to each their own sort of thing, and I can't say that I've really listened to much of any AI generated music. I know there's stories about there are these bands that don't actually exist, but they are.
Right.
You can go find their music, and that's really strange to me. And I think there's some troubling ideas behind it around like sort of, you know, the evil empire of Spotify putting things out there that to take even more money away from legitimate artists. So I don't support that.
Yeah, there's some abuse with those things, for sure.
But I'll say that when it comes to like using AI as a tool, I'm not particularly interested in it. It's not something that gets me excited. I want to sit down with a guitar and a pen and paper. Like that's how I like to approach songwriting.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I also will use a rhyming dictionary. It is analog, but it's a tool that I use sometimes to help me find stuff that I can't just generate in my own mind. Sure. And so I think if it's engaged in that way, it's probably not a tool I'm going to really go to. But if somebody finds it really supportive to them, then I think it's kind of whatever, like do your thing. Because especially as a teacher, my goal is to not just like recreate me in another person. Mm-hmm. My goal is to help that person find their voice and express their work and to get it out into the world in a good way. Yeah. And so I think if people are using it as a crutch or being lazy about their writing, like, you know, I guess like do your thing, but I'm not going to necessarily resonate with it very strongly. Yeah. But if it's a tool that helps you, then I don't know, like each one of us gets to choose to what extent we want to engage with it. And I think too that for me there's a lot of value in the process of songwriting, not just the product. So if I was trying to like crank out 5 songs in a day and I just needed to get those 5 songs, and I was like, ChatGPT, write me the lyrics to 5 songs, and it could do it, and then I could go somewhere else, I don't even know where, and like compose music to this and crank it out and give it to me.
Like something it does.
You know, then maybe I do that and I use those tools. There is this question of like, did you really write it at that point? I don't know. Like I think, you know, if it wouldn't hold up to...
Well, you did something. You
did something. You
had to be behind it and tell the machine, do this. But it's a different
did you make it? I don't know. If you want to get my real, just like, all right, but commit to an answer, I'd say, no, you didn't write it. If you use it as a tool, at what measurement is it? Yeah, like what percentage does it shift? You know, and I that's up for debate. But for me, I'm just like not that interested in it, because the process of writing, the sitting down and working through it, is a big part of what I find valuable.
You bet.
And that might not be the case for everybody, and it's not for me to tell everybody how exactly they ought to live in the world. You know.
Yeah, sure. And probably the creative people that do enjoy really getting something emotionally out of the process will not lose the process no matter what AI does, and those people will still be around just because it's you know, it's like anything else, like sculpture or anything else. Well,
I'm just grateful to be here, grateful to get to hang out with you guys. And,
same here, man.
I appreciate the chance. You can find me on the internet, all the places. ElyCartwright.com is my website, and it's ELY. That's the tricky bit. Ely Cartwright. Right. Yeah.
And you said you're pretty big on Instagram. So
Instagram's usually where I post. Yeah, just at Ely Cartwright. That's it. If you Google my name, I'll probably be one of the first things that comes up. If you go to my website, you can find links to anywhere.
Facebook, all that stuff.
Facebook, Instagram,
man, it's so awesome to have you.
Yeah, great to be
here.
Thank you
for making time.
Yeah.
And